Hey everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Oppo Find N5, the latest foldable from Oppo, packed with great software features and a beautiful design. My friends at Oppo sent over this phone for an early look and to hear my thoughts, and they're also sponsoring this video, but as always, all thoughts on this device are my own. Now this is an exciting device because it solves a lot of the problems that people have with other folding phones, all while introducing unique hardware features and software features. Now, opening the box, we have the phone itself, which immediately looks and feels premium. It's also incredibly thin and light. And alongside the phone, there's the 80-watt Super VOOC fast charger, a case, USB-C cable, and some instruction booklets. And the design is actually quite impressive. When closed, the phone is about the same thickness as a regular standard phone. And that makes a huge difference in daily use because it makes it much more natural to hold and doesn't add unnecessary bulk and weight to your pocket. Now the outer display here is a 6.62-inch LTPO panel with 120Hz refresh rate at 1600 nits outdoors with a peak brightness of 2450 nits for compatible content. And the best part is, it feels as wide as a regular smartphone display, so you can use it closed, no problem. And when you unfold the device, it reveals an 8.12-inch display that's also 120Hz, essentially making the phone into a mini tablet. And the crease is barely visible, which every folding phone aspires to. It's also incredibly durable, made of 7000 series aluminum, and it's water resistant. And inside we have the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor which powers the device, as well as a 5600 mAh battery, which in combination with Oppo's smart charging, it helps the battery last long term. But with all that power, what can you actually do with this phone? Well, this device is running Oppo's ColorOS 15 on top of Android, which feels clean, fluid, and full of useful features. And the software itself looks modern, with a lot of ways to customize the look of the OS using Oppo's Flux themes. From wallpapers to icons, the overall style of the OS, as well as configuring options like the always on display and even the fingerprint animation. And the animations here flow throughout the user interface, making it feel much more alive. It all feels very well designed and everything is consistent throughout the OS. As well as some of the stock ColorOS apps, they're minimal and honestly have beautiful accents and design touches throughout. So whether I'm using the outer screen or the inner larger display, I'm getting a great consistent software experience. There's also features like the one-handed home screen navigation, which makes using such a large device a lot more easy and accessible. I'm also a big fan of the smart sidebar, which you can activate by swiping from the right side of the screen. And it gives you quick access to files, applications, shortcuts, and you can also drop files in the sidebar to quickly access at any time and across your other Oppo devices. So for example, if there's text or an image that I'm referencing while I'm working on a note or an email, I can open up the sidebar and easily access it and any other relevant files. Now, taking advantage of the large inner display is one of the most interesting and useful features called Boundless View, which makes multitasking with multiple windows or floating windows pretty much effortless. The phone also intelligently can help enable split screen when needed, making referencing multiple apps at once a lot easier. So for example, let's say I'm typing up an email. I can also open up YouTube or music for some entertainment on the side, and I can also change what video is playing, what track is playing, all without leaving my email app. I can also have floating windows all around my screen which are very easy to resize, dock, or pin for later. And all of these multitasking features make the operating system feel much more like a desktop computer. It's great for having some entertainment while working or referencing other photos or documents. And of course, AI-powered tools are also built into the operating system. For example, like Link Boost 2.0, which uses the phone's 360-degree antenna system to maintain a strong and stable data connection. While AI Document helps me translate, summarize, or refine my writing in Oppo's Document app, which uses AI to help make my writing better or condense paragraphs. And there's a new Translate app too, which uses AI as well as both displays to do live translation in conversation mode. And of course, Google's AI additions to Android are here too, like Circle to Search for example, where I can quickly circle something in an image and easily look it up. And there's also Google Gemini as well, and I'm sure you know Gemini is great for simple things like setting alarms, checking the weather, stuff like that, but also much more complicated things like asking actually complicated questions. And being able to speak conversationally and ask follow-up questions is a great way to make sure I have answers to all of my questions down to very specific points. There's also AI Summary, which pops up when I open up a web page and lets me summarize that entire web page into just a few key notes. Or if my hands are full, I can use AI Speak, which takes the web page and just reads it out to me. Perfect.
3mm ultra slim book style foldable smartphone. built to last with cutting-edge armor shield and certified.
Now, for Mac users like me, this phone is really a blessing and a surprise. Oppo's O Plus Connect for Mac is a really useful feature and makes file transfers between the phone and my Mac a lot easier and vice versa. With the O Plus Connect app on Mac, you can quickly transfer files or even preview photos and videos with no hassle. So for example, if I'm transferring a document from my phone to my Mac, it's super easy. Or after a long day of shooting photo and video clips, I can easily transfer those files to my Mac to view them. Having an Android phone that actually integrates well with my Mac has always been a dream, and Oppo is making it come true. But there's also something even more exciting that Apple's own devices can't even do. The N5 actually has a remote Mac control feature, basically turning the phone into a mini laptop where you can access your Mac's desktop. All you have to do is put the phone into flex form mode, and the top half of the screen is your Mac desktop, while the bottom half turns into a mini trackpad and keyboard. And just like a Mac's trackpad, you can use familiar gestures to navigate around the virtual desktop. So for example, if I need to make an edit to a file that's only on my Mac at home and I'm out and about, I can easily access the remote feature in all my files and make any edits I need to, and send the finished file to myself or a client even. This feature is huge and honestly a game changer for Mac users. And finally, let's talk about the camera system. The cameras in this device were developed in partnership with Hasselblad. We have a triple camera setup here, a 50 megapixel wide, a 50 megapixel telephoto, and an 8 megapixel ultra wide lens. And photos across all cameras look sharp with great color and contrast. While the video recording goes up to 4K 60 frames per second with smooth and stable results. And a bonus unique benefit of the foldable design here is being able to actually prop the phone up halfway open, using the outer display as a viewfinder, turning this into a tripod for hands-free shots. And of course, there's also some AI features built into the Photos app, letting you retouch photos after taking them to enhance and clean up background scenes. And after opening AI Editor, I have access to a bunch of features. First is Enhanced Clarity, which enhances the sharpness and clarity of an image after zooming and cropping in. Second is AI Eraser, which is great to remove distractions, people, garbage, and parts of a scene that I just don't want. And there's also different options to get the cleanest image with precision, like Smart Lasso, Paint Over, and Remove People options. Next, we have the Remove Reflections tool, which is a great way to remove reflections when taking a photo through glass. And you can also have fun and use AI Studio to generate images based on your starting image. Okay, so to conclude, the Oppo Find N5 is probably the most impressive foldable I've ever used. It has a beautiful, thin, durable, lightweight design, powerful performance, strong software features with AI features built in, and also compatibility with Mac computers, and a solid camera system. If you want to learn more, I'll have a link in the description down below so you can check out this device for yourself. And a huge thanks once again to Oppo for sponsoring this video. And thank you for watching.